Hey, this is Dan Jacobs from Atreyu.
And I'm Travis Miguel from Atreyu, and you're watching Premier Guitars Big Five.
That was 10, but two fives. Two fives.
My favorite guitar, or I should say guitars, plural, is this one here. Let's see if you can see it. It is a Balaguer custom thicket. It's actually going to be a signature model through Balaguer Guitars. It's mahogany body, maple neck with walnut stringers. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see, EMG 8185X, Floyd Rose, and yeah, and then I also have the same exact thing in white.
My favorite guitar is, I just recently signed with Kidz Guitars, and I have a new shape that they've produced called the Hyperdrive, which I've been using as my signature model. This one in particular, it's for sale if somebody really wanted to go out and get this guitar, but it's pretty obnoxious. I have a Sushi Guitar that's it's basically like a bento box. If you can see here, in the video, it's got realistic sushi pieces. It's resined in there, so you can't take them out. It's kind of got like an assortment of nigiri pieces and some rolls and whatnot. The volume knob is actually a sushi roll as well, so you can roll back the volume if need be. Normally on my signature models, I have a pull knob where you can switch between the it being single coil and double coil, but in this case we don't want to mess with the knob, so we just left it just the doubles. But this particular guitar, it's made out of black limba wood. It's got passive pickups in it that are actually Kidz pickups, so it's got thorium in the back for the more kind of intense ripping stuff, and then up front we got a lithium, which is a more kind of full body, twangier sounding neck pickup. It's got the Floyd Rose on there. The inlays are crossed chopsticks to go along with the whole theme. Roasted maple neck, 24.75 scale, 24 fret. It's a reverse headstock on there. You can kind of see in there, it's got the old reverse headstock. And it's got Kidz locking tuners on it, which is not extremely necessary. It's kind of redundant a little bit when you have the locking system for the Floyd, but hey, a little extra security never hurt anybody. The whole thing started from an idea I had where I wanted to get, and I'm still going to make this at some point in time, but I wanted a guitar that was going to be basically like this kind of like tropical blue color, like a light kind of tropical blue color that had cartoon sushi pieces cut out and kind of layered over the guitar. I just have this kind of just classic looking, I don't know, sushi Japanese vibe thing.
Nothing's as classic like sushi.
As far as like the aesthetics of like the pieces, like the way they're drawn and stuff to make it look like an old cartoon or something. But it started off as that when I told Jeff Kidz I wanted to do this. He was like, thinking like, how could I step this up to like the ultimate level? And he's like, oh, what if we made a guitar that actually had like real looking sushi pieces in it? And I thought he was kind of joking at first. So I was like, I just kind of brushed off the idea. I was like, what? Like, how would we even do that? But that would be amazing. And then I showed up to go get my blood guitar upon completion, and he surprised me with this thing. And it wasn't painted yet. It was just like the raw wood, but it had all the fish pieces in it, a lot of which he took from the picture that I showed him of the sticker blue, guitar that I was trying to do. He saw the pieces in the pictures and just tried to find replicas of those pieces and put them in there. Right here in the middle, you got the wasabis right there and the gingers right there.
Ooh. Desert Island album. For me, I'd go with
one of the Nows for sure.
Yeah, one of the Nows or Kidz Bop.
Yeah, Now 13 is one of my favorites.
I prefer 11. I'm an 11
more of an
guy.
11 guy. That was a good one.
Just off the top of my head, I'd say either Metallica's and Justice for All, because it's like 5 hours long and it would kill a lot of time, or Purple Rain by Prince, because it's pretty much a perfect album. You can't touch it.
My Desert Island album, I'm just gonna go with Queen's Greatest Hits, because it's they kind of take you all over the place, and they got some rockin' jams, they got some slow ones, they got some theatrical stuff. There's a little bit of everything going on there. My biggest guitar culture pet peeve would probably be just some of the overplaying of stuff. When it comes to like guitar solos or even people just kind of showing off a little bit, there's just a lot of like just cramming too many notes in, and you kind of It's impressive. I mean, not to knock people that are just shredding away and incredibly clean and talented at it, but sometimes less is more. And I feel like there's, especially when you get into like the sweet picking world, it just, as we like to refer to it, starts sounding like a turkey in a blender.
For me, I think it would be gear snobs. People who are just 100% purists or traditionalists, and they don't ever really want to grasp new technology that's coming in. I mean, I get it, you really can't beat the sound of, a Marshall 800 cranked to 10, just, blasting out your eardrums. But then again, the technology is so advanced now that it is very hard to tell sometimes, And at the end of the day, for us anyway, I highly doubt that there's going to be someone in the audience, nitpicking the tone, like, oh, they're definitely playing digital, or they're only playing analog, or it's so loud and so abrasive that, I highly doubt that there's anybody in the crowd picking up on that. For me, I think an unexpected guitar hero or influence, probably somebody like Joe Pass or Al Di Meola, or even like Django Reinhardt. I mean, the man could do more with two fingers than I could ever dream of doing.
Ooh.
With yeah. And I could never in a million years play like any of those people, but I mean, anybody who I listen to or I watch play, if they make me want to pick up the guitar and start playing, I consider that an influence. And those three off the top of my head definitely fall into that category.
I'm going to go with someone like Bob Marley, just because of not necessarily he wasn't a shredder or anything of the sort, but he's a great songwriter, and his groove and just the way he would create songs and the vibes that he would create, I think is, I'm a big fan of reggae, and to go back to the root of like what initially inspired me to like reggae, for most people in the modern, the last 10, 20, 30 years, usually it's Bob Marley that's kind of a gateway drug into the reggae world. My secret weapon is my mind and my perspective. For at least when it comes to like songwriting or things that I do with my band or anybody else, I like to just try to bring something in that's a little bit different than anybody else is thinking of when it comes to, writing. Like for me, I bring a lot of classic rock elements, whether it be 70s, 80s kind of stuff, or even 50s, 60s kind of stuff. I like bringing those kind of melodies and chord progressions in, because you apply that in a rock setting or even in other styles of music. I write a little bit of everything. So, if I'm doing like a reggae song with somebody, like bringing in that 50s, 60s reggae sound into a modern reggae band, it just adds this really beautiful, familiar sound to it.
My secret weapon is, just simply, I guess, a Jazz 3 pick. I was never really that picky, no pun intended, about picks. I just, I play whatever was in front of me or whatever I had in my pocket at that time. But once I started playing these, I noticed I actually started playing different. I started playing better, which I guess, that's important, I would assume. I think it's the size of it, the attack of it. The only problem is that they're relatively easy to drop because there isn't a whole lot of real estate on them. But yeah, these definitely have improved my playing. I like to think so anyway. Somebody could probably watch me play and say, no, dude, you didn't get better at all.
It makes you feel good.
It makes me feel like I'm a better player. I might not necessarily be one, but I do feel like I'm playing better. So.
Which is, at the end of the day, is the most important thing.
That's all that counts.
If you believe in your head and that you are whatever it is you want to believe, like you are, so if you
will it will.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing, like, saying, like him bringing up something like a pick, like a lot of people have, whether it be it's like they have that guitar, they got to play that one guitar, that's what makes them play better, or that pick or that amp, that tone, there's always something that for whatever reason makes you feel really, really comfortable, and it's hard to explain, it just feels right, and it's when you get out of that comfort zone of that pick, that guitar, that amp, whatever it may be, it feels uncomfortable, and it does affect your mentality, which can in tune affect your playing. So yeah.
Very cyclical.
A flood will rise, the city's fall.